3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to another episode of Questlog. It's a weekly show about video games, old and new. My name is still Tyler Everett, and this is episode 78, believe it or not. And joining me this week on this fine May 20, what is it? May the 26th? There we go. It's a Brian Maxwell, everyone.
Hey,
how's it going, man?
Hey, man. Good. May the 26th.
It is 2018 and episode 78. It's not a prime number. It's a number, though. Sure is another one. In a long list, long legacy. Joined once again by the illustrious Aaron Crane. How's it going, sir?
It's all right. I mean, last week I got to ride shotgun with you, but this week,
Yeah, we see how that turned out.
Brian's back in shotgun.
Yeah,
You've learned.
I learned my lesson. Yeah, lesson learned. And to round out the posse here, we got one Luke Phillips. How's it going, man?
Hey, it's good to be back.
It's good to have you back, gentlemen. How goes your lives? How are things? I don't want to jump right into it here. I want to
Tyler, I want to bring something up for you.
bring it. Show me what you got.
I've discovered a new show that
Oh,
nobody was talking about.
yeah.
Oh, this sounds really good. Tell me more.
I love a new show.
I mean,
This is probably brand new to all of us.
you guys are big into Sea of Thieves, right? You like that pirate stuff.
Oh,
I think
love
this
it.
Yeah.
I think we mentioned it once or twice. I
Ahoy.
think.
There's a show. There's a
matey.
show called Black Sails.
Never
What's it
heard of
about?
it.
It's a pirate show.
Like
It's about
a
these
car dealership.
Yes. Yep.
Whoa. I'm gonna leave that alone. Just gonna let that. Yep, that's that. So, what do you think of
Is it
Black
good?
Sails?
It sounds really good.
All right,
It's
guys, let's take it from the top.
Basically-
Run it again.
It's a car dealership in Harlem, and you got some. We lost. Did we lose Luke? Oh God, there he is. No, he's here.
It's all good. It's all good in the hood.
Do your bit about fucking Black Sails. God damn it, Crane. Let's move on.
Oh, it's fantastic, and I wish you guys would stop harassing me to watch it. That's all.
Oh,
Okay,
you
goodbye.
just finished the show. Finish it. It's
Did you
so
start
good.
Season 3 yet?
No, I haven't yet,
The
Luke.
first scene in season 3 is so flipping fantastic.
You gotta watch
You
it.
gotta get there.
You gotta watch it.
Yeah. We're not going to tell you.
Brian,
It's not even a spoiler to tell you about it, but you have to experience
Well,
it first
you
hand.
haven't
It's
heard
so
it.
good.
so Brian doesn't like
Most
Things that are
things.
good.
Thrones because it's just a little bit too much on his people are terrible sometimes meter.
Yeah.
People are bad.
Do you think we could get him to watch Black Sails?
Don't talk
No.
about me like I'm not here.
Brian, do you think we could get you to watch Black Sails? It's not as
No.
bad.
No, it ain't
It's not as
happening.
bad.
I-
There's significantly less torture.
Okay, that's nice.
You
Is
haven't
that
gotten
your
to season
sales
3
pitch?
yet. Okay.
The first two seasons have significantly less torture.
Thank you for your honesty, Luke.
How about that R wording though? Because there's quite a bit of that. There you go. I rest my case.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah, I'm good.
He's good. I
good.
yeah.
Let's
It's
just
fine.
say they didn't whitewash these pirates.
Nope. Show ain't called Black Sails for nothing. All right.
But
Hey,
on a serious note, Black Sails is fantastic. Highly recommend it to anyone. If you like Game of Thrones, you'll probably like Black Sails.
it's got pirates, and it's good. Let's talk about the games we've been playing this week, shall we?
Yeah, let's
Well, Tyler, I didn't
move it along.
even talk about my personal life.
Yeah.
I stopped the
Well,
music.
Green
What-
got to talk, but
Luke's a person.
We just need to start this whole thing over, I think. It's fine. No, go ahead, Luke. What's up?
I want to talk about Deadpool too.
Oh yeah,
I wasn't here last
feel like
week
I don't-
because I
I
was
feel like I don't
watching
want you to.
Deadpool.
that's
feel like I
right.
don't want
That's
you
where you were. How was it?
Well, I'm going to.
I don't want you to either.
It's fantastic. It's a great movie.
Is it better
If
than
you
the
like
first?
The original, you will love this one. I highly recommend it.
How do you know?
I
That
just kind of a
if I
gut
like the first
feeling.
one. Is so how's the TJ Miller situation in there after all of
Awkward.
the stuff that he's been through?
Real awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it seem like they might have cut a lot of his stuff out?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he
kinda thought
shows
that
up
was
for
happening.
all of about 3 minutes in this movie, and it's a bit awkward. And you kind of tell like his scenes are just one of those, okay, TJ, say a bunch of random funny stuff, and we're just gonna pick the best from it and throw it into the movie, and the rest of it just got all scrapped.
Okay.
Okay.
But Cable is a fantastic bad guy. The jokes were good. The other quote unquote superheroes in the movie were fantastic. So
Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
Josh
Good stuff.
Brolin's killing it.
Josh Brolin as Cable and Thanos, just fantastic.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it. I want to see it. It's on my list. One of these magical days, I'm just gonna go spend an entire day at the movie theater. I think.
Yeah, watch an Infinity War and
Sneaking
a
from
Deadpool
theater
2.
to theater, Tyler.
Yeah. Like a junior high kid all over again. It'll be great. But until that magical day, I've got video games to fill the void, and here is a segue into what we've been playing. Nailed it. Brian, as is
Yeah.
customary, what have you been playing this week, baby?
Oh geez. Oh geez, Tyler.
Oh, jeez.
So many things. I finished Forgotton Anne.
You
which I
did?
started last week.
That's,
I did.
That's the scarf game?
that's the talking scarf.
All right.
If and you don't remember. Yeah, it was good, but I wanted better.
Hmm.
It reminded me a little bit of Alan Wake, where like the story stuff was really good, but I wish they hadn't felt the need to shoehorn a bunch of video gamey bullshit into it. Like there were a lot of puzzles that felt like they were there because hey, we've got to have gameplay, so I don't know, here's some puzzles, here's some platforms to raise and lower and doors to open and close, and I don't enjoy that.
And if I'm not mistaken, you do not like puzzles in games very much.
Not in general, no. Story ended up being pretty predictable. It kind of went where it looked like it was going to go. I don't know. It's really gorgeous and well animated. It's well done. I just wanted a little better. But I'm glad I played it.
That's cool.
It's pretty.
Yeah, it's a neat looking game. The it's always a weird thing, right? Like you're playing through this game and you're getting a good story and you're kind of like, you know, you still have, what's the word I'm looking for? You've got a sense of agency because you're the one that's moving the character up and down and across and talking to people. But there is this sense that like a lot of game developers think like, well, we're never gonna get anybody's attention if we just have you walking around watching cutscenes and
Right.
talking to
I don't
people.
want you to get bored.
We gotta have you do something. So
It felt like a walking simulator type game. Like
Right.
It should have been one of those, but they're like, well, here's some arbitrary bullshit to get in your way because that's what these are.
Like,
Yeah.
like it felt like a walking simulator, but they felt like they couldn't do a 2D walking
Yeah.
simulator, so they're trying to figure out some way to shoehorn some sort of gameplay element into it.
Yeah, and this might just be a case of, local man who doesn't like puzzles, but
Right. Yeah. Gotcha.
yeah, it was a neat game though.
That's cool.
It's got some social commentary going on that it feels relevant. So
Is it in your Steam?
yeah, it's in my Steam.
I should probably get in on this.
Yeah, maybe give it a look.
What else you been
You
playing?
like to simulate walking?
Yeah, he does. We all kind of do. Looking through. Here's a little teaser. But we've been putting together a little top 100 games of all time list in the background, and
Yeah.
noticing some trends. Like a lot of these walking simulator type games that we all give a try make it into that list. Spoiler alert. So, yeah, kind of surprising. Yeah. What else you been playing?
Yeah. Don't have a whole lot to say about it, but I'm still working on Persona 4 and probably will be for the foreseeable future. I give that an hour or two, a few nights a week. It's still
Still
that,
holding up?
and yep, I'm in,
Filling your persona hole.
filling the Persona hole. Yep.
Now, this is the one that you did not play originally, right?
Yeah, I played it for, I don't know, I put maybe 10 hours into it, and then I fell off. I think it was around the time when I'd kind of like gotten out of video games for a few years there.
You got out of video games for a few years?
I was way into board games
Yeah,
and card
it
games
was your
and not
board
into
game
video
Oh,
games at
okay,
all
yeah.
for a few years.
You're
Yeah.
board game curious.
Mhm.
Brian went analog.
Yeah. Analog gaming.
So
Going
far, where
analog,
does this
baby.
rank in your Persona favorites?
It's probably better than 5. I don't think anything can ever topple 3, but yep, so far so good.
Good.
And I've got that Game Pass, so I played some State of Decay 2.
You didn't buy those cookies for nothing.
Yep. Sure didn't buy them to eat them. Boy, fuck Chips Ahoy.
I
Oh,
watched a little
that's
stream of State of
not
Decay
okay.
2 the other day, and I couldn't really get a concept of what it was. Is this a open world PvP style game, or what is this?
Nope, it's PvE, at least as far as what I've seen. Like, I know there are multiplayer games you can join other people's sessions, but I don't think it's competitive.
More survival zombie apocalypse
right.
kind of thing.
Yep, like you've got a base and you're trying to go out and scavenge resources and scavenge, medicine, and like you're building up your base and you're recruiting people into your encampment and trying to not die every time you leave home. And it seems like there's a whole lot of systems at play. I played it for maybe an hour or two. I don't know. There are a lot of games where I say that I like being in the world. This is kind of the opposite. It's just everything's dark and shitty, and people are dying, and it's just an ugly, unpleasant place to be. I mean, it's a zombie game, so that's kind of what those are.
It's in a state of decay, you might say.
In that state.
Oh, game title.
I played a little bit of the first one, and this feels very much like a direct, descendant from the first one. It feels real close to the same game, just better done.
I've heard it described as kind of like Grand Theft Auto gameplay, but you're in a zombie apocalypse. It's kind of
that's fair.
It's kind of the way it controls anyway.
Well, that all sounds good.
Yeah,
Like it's a well done game.
Just not your style.
Yeah. Zombies.
those
Ain't my
zombies.
jam.
Third person shooter.
Yeah, that too. Not so much shooting, but third person beating to death with a tire iron, which actually sounds, kind of cool now that I say it out loud.
Yeah. Oh, you are finishing some zombies with that tire iron. The frame rate seems balls. Was it running okay for you?
Running okay. Like, it definitely looked worse on the OBS recording.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why there was a difference.
Good to know. Good to know. Well, what else you got? You got a Raft in there, I see.
What is Raft?
I was gonna pass.
Pass to Luke.
Pass to Luke.
Yeah, we can pass to Luke.
We can dive into this together.
Yeah.
Ooh, dive in.
Hey.
Yeah.
It's
So
a segue.
So if you were to make a game where you're on a raft
And a pun.
and the game consists of being on the raft,
So far, so good.
And the game was called Raft.
The game's called Raft.
It's all checking out so far.
Why is that raft made of bricks?
That's wood and plastic.
Please, Crane.
It looks like bricks. It looks like a brick driveway.
So Raft is an early access game that was released 2 or 3 days ago on Steam, early access. And it's exactly in the title. You are on a raft. You collect supplies from the water, just like floating jugs, debris, wood planks, leaves,
Just
barrels of
whatever
random
shit's in the water.
supplies.
Mhm.
There's a lot of bullshit out there.
And you just build up your raft and make what? Fishing poles, water purifiers, grills, storage
Bed.
containers, a bed that we've yet to make. And it's just a survival game.
Yeah, there aren't many games I feel confident saying this about, but this is a Luke-ass video game.
Mhm.
You're getting shit and turning it into other shit and building up your base.
It's a survival game. It's Subnautica on the surface of the water.
So, this is probably a dumb question. Is there ever land?
That is a dumb question, yes.
There is land.
Yeah, there are small islands that appear, and you can jump off your raft to collect like watermelons, flowers. Sometimes there'll be other supplies. In theory, schematics, although I've yet to find any. Schematics unlock higher tier items. So like larger storage containers, a better fishing rod, stuff like that.
Luke, is this game like Rust in that you get on a server and play against other people as well, or is this co-op? For the
Co-op.
multiplayer only. Okay.
So the way they do it is actually kind of cool. When you generate your map, your save file, there's just a checkbox that says Steam friends can join. It's joinable. And so when you open up the game and hit join server, it just gives you a box that has any of your Steam friends that are currently playing, and you just automatically load into their game. So I was just on my raft, all of a sudden a Brian Maxwell appeared in front of me.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. Yep.
Yeah, it was really easy to hop in and out. So I like that aspect of it. It's very, honestly, relaxing. It's calm, quiet. You just collect your resources, build up your raft. There's a shark that attacks you every now and again, and you just stab it in the face with a spear.
Stab that bitch.
It's not overly complicated or difficult. Definitely rough in the edges, though. It's early access, so they need to add a whole lot more content to it. But
We're gonna build out that raft real big. We're gonna build a fucking hotel on that thing.
yeah, so far I have 2 levels to my raft. I'm building a third. It's gonna be so good.
Growing a little herbage.
Yep, I do have a little
Little garden.
some radishes, some
Fresh
taters.
herbs. That's
I would
pretty
like
good.
to unlock the larger.
How
We
fucking
both-
are you on this raft?
I want to get the bigger garden so I can grow watermelons at some point.
The game is called Raft. Kring, you are Raft.
Do you ever get off the raft?
Kring, you are Raft.
Well,
Kring.
there are some islands you can
All
get
right.
on, as I said, and there are also some other rafts.
I mean, eventually, I would figure by the time a potato actually grew
Raft,
to be
Craig.
edible,
Oh no, potatoes take like 2 days to grow. It's super quick.
that is not how this. Okay.
You just broke Kring's immersion. He can't engage with this now.
Okay.
He's never played a
One-
video
one
game
thing
before
that
where
would be
things grow quickly.
For this game though, is if they contacted Rare and just
Yeah,
Had them do the
licensed
water.
their engine for this water though.
yeah. Sea of Thieves has ruined all video game
Yep.
waters.
Any
for
other
me.
water sucks compared to Sea of Thieves.
I can confirm.
Which
Boy, it's almost like Sea of Thieves is not an early access and it's a full blown $60 title because they actually put money into it.
Water looks good.
Water looks real
hey,
good.
Sea of Thieves though, huh?
Oh, Luke said the magic words. Hold on. I got a new thing for that. Oh, you hear that sound? It means
No.
that Luke's triggered the Sea of
No.
Thieves. It's time to talk about Sea of Thieves. I know you don't. You're supposed to play along. It's like you guys are new or something. Oh, man. Boy, it's been a good old week for the Sea of Thieves, hasn't it?
So I think we had basically, in my opinion at least, the best experience yet in Sea of Thieves the other night.
It was high up there. Yeah, it was one of the most unexpected nights. Now I can't find the gameplay of it. Bear with me. Yeah.
Barrel with you?
Barrel with me. But yeah, Luke, if you want to start describing it, take it away, man, because that was a heck of a
So
thing.
Tyler and I are on a sloop by ourselves, and coming up across a stronghold, and we see a galleon and another sloop that are both anchored. Turns out that they're teamed up. They want to be friendly with each other and fend off anyone else.
Hmm.
Try as we might, just cannot sink them. Fighting. Another sloop shows up. Sail up alongside next to him, call out, "Hey, we're friendly. We want to kill the other two. We'll team up." End up getting a whole sloop army. 3 of us all joined up together just to fend off a galleon and the sloop that keep coming back. And end up being really cool people. We get the Skull Fort down, split up the treasure, and sail back to an island where we all get off on land, take pictures of our 3 boats lined up. We go to the tavern, drink a few grogs, do a few shanties. It was so awesome to have 3 separate boats all come together to work to sink these other boats and actually be cool and not betray each other.
See, that's that right there, Luke. That's the part that's the most shocking to me because I've played with Tyler, and he is
He's
straight up.
bloodthirsty.
He's a
savage.
madman.
It's funny because you mentioned that. I just was looking at the footage here. As I'm trying to sink the galleon, I accidentally killed one of our sloop army members.
Well, there might have been a few accidents along the way, but
I shot
we
him
actually
dead.
shot at one of the boats accidentally, but
Yeah,
there was some give and take for sure.
it was.
It does not matter how far away we are from another boat or what we are attempting to do at that time. If Tyler sees another boat, it's time to sink that boat.
Yeah, this was a rare situation where
Rare.
we got to the Skull Fort, realized the shenanigans that were taking place, and decided that we had to come up with an alternative plan because we weren't going to be able to. Yeah, we were going to have to use the sloop code to our advantage because I wasn't going to be able to just take on this sloop and this galleon. 2 on 6. I wasn't gonna give up, but I decided it was better to take some help. So, yeah, we flagged down this other sloop. I board him. I'm like, hey, don't kill me. Me and that other guy, we want to team up with you because these guys are all teamed up. We gotta work together. He was like, okay, cool, and I hopped right on his cannon.
That also sounds like a strategy you would use to kill him and sink his boat.
It was probably crossed our minds at some point. But
I mean, yeah,
it was there, but
it was there. But I was so excited that it went so well. Like we were able to do it. We actually ended up fending off 2 full-on galleons, and I think 2 other sloops showed up too. So it was quite quite an epic battle. And the fact that the Alliance stood true all the way to the end, and we were able to actually find those other boats afterwards. That was pretty cool too.
We sold all of our stuff first,
Mm-hmm.
and then once we got done selling, we started sailing and found one of the enemy sloops chasing a friendly sloop, and we went and intercepted him and sank that one while he could run away and sell his stuff.
Yep.
So it was an ongoing truce and alliance, and it worked out really, really well.
Yep. It was a cool night. We had some good nights all around. You and I did some duo slooping and managed to take a Skull Fort, I think, together. There was it was a lot of the good times in the old Sea of Thieves this week. We got on with Mike the other night. Last night, was it?
Yep, last night.
Last night did another Skull Fort, I think. Oh, it was right before. It was just the 3 of us who managed to do one. And it was crazy. It was almost uncontested. We just got in there, did it super, super quick, and before anyone else could show up to try to take our stuff, we just finished the thing off and sold it. It was
we got really efficient.
methodical. Yeah, for sure.
I feel like we're getting very efficient at this game in general in every single aspect of it, just becoming this ridiculously well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
But the whole game's about to change. It's about to be a brand new game coming up on the 29th.
I sense the sarcasm in your voice, Luke, and I know what you're talking about.
They're finally adding content.
Yes, we have
guys.
content coming to the game.
No one's gonna believe that.
Finally, we're gonna have something to do.
Hungering Deep free DLC is coming on the 29th. Don't have a whole lot of details on it, other than there's supposed to be a whole new quote-unquote AI threat.
It's a megalodon. It's a big ass
megalodon.
shark. Yeah, like
happening.
they're
But we don't know like the details of how it's gonna appear, how to fend it off. One thing Rare does, for better or worse, is they don't give you a lot of details. Now that's cool because you can find out on your own and what the actual content patch is about, how to progress.
mhm.
Bad in that, well, the mind can wander and create something that's better than what it actually is.
Yeah.
So
That's-
I've been trying not to speculate too hard on what is actually going to be
Hard on.
released.
So they've pretty much told us everything that's coming aside from how we're going to summon this megalodon. And
we
the-
know how we're gonna summon it. We're gonna play a song.
Yeah, but the common
Are we?
theory is that it's
Yes.
going to require 2 different crews to do it. That it'll take 2 separate
Oh.
boats, both playing the shanty at the same time to summon the thing. And then if you want to appease it, it's going to require a sacrifice of live animals. It sounds like chickens.
See,
So-
I thought it was the other way, where you have to throw chickens in the water to summon it, and then playing
Maybe.
the song would like put it almost to like a sleep, so like a
Maybe.
state that you could then fight it.
Could be.
So like you would have to have a group doing a song while a secondary group is shooting cannons at it, or maybe venturing inside of it to get treasure that it's swallowed.
I hope this thing drops some kind of loot, treasure, something. A tentacle I can go sell, a fin or something like that, like something. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's
'cause
the
Kraken is boring, to be honest.
The Kraken is just a big
It's an obstacle.
nail in the road that gets in your tires, and like it was really cool the first couple times that I fought that thing, and now it's just like, oh, the fucking Kraken is here. Like-
Well, the first time I fought it was we had a galleon with most of a stronghold
Yeah,
on it,
that's right.
and then
That sloop
no
that helped us.
supplies, and then a sloop that was kind of helping us, but you never know how long that was going to last. And we had to fight tooth and nail to fend it off. But
Yep.
ever since then, it's like, oh, Kraken, whatever. It's going to be 2 minutes of shooting cannonballs, and that's it.
Yep. Yeah, and it doesn't
No
drop
chance
anything.
you're
So
gonna
they have said that they're going to change that in the future, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for there to be just some extra new little doodads to play around with. You're gonna have
We're getting drums,
drums, tattoos, scars.
new
Flags.
Oh,
flags.
Raise
great
the
flag.
black, Tyler.
Yeah,
Yup.
I was thinking about this earlier too, and this may be like it's going to help with ship-to-ship communication a lot because we can now get on the speaking trumpet. Yeah, it is. Hear me out. You can get on the speaking trumpet.
will.
Go ahead, Crane.
The flags aren't going to help, but the speaking trumpet will. Go ahead.
I feel like we covered this already.
Yeah.
So what you will be able to do now is, since nobody will know how to use the flags, we can tell other ships like, "Hey, excuse
Hey, you're
me,
using the flags wrong.
no, like we're gonna board you and take all your stuff and sink you. Like, raise your white flag if you want to just let us on board and take it without a fight, and maybe we'll let you live and keep some of it, or don't do that and we're just gonna sink you." We could play around with it a little bit.
Yeah, see, to me, it would help in like our situation the other night where we had 2 other sloops that were on our
Mhm.
side. We could say, hey, for easy identification, fly the red flag.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
But it's not going to be a matter of, oh, they're flying a white flag, they're peaceful,
Right.
they're flying the black flag. They're gonna, if we surrender and give them our treasure, they're not gonna kill us.
Let's be real here.
That stuff.
Everyone's gonna fly the black flag.
It's a pirate video game. Everybody's gonna fly the Jolly Roger all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Except for Tyler, because he really wants black sails to be real life.
I do. I just want that. I want that moment where we gotta try to get them to strike their colors, even though they won't know what to do.
It would be awesome if there was an actual code that people adhere to, but it's just not going to happen. It's the internet.
I think people will eventually start to pick that stuff up, but
it'll be a small percentage.
We should just RP that and then stream it on Twitch.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
We'll be like the Sheriff Eli of
there you go
of Sea of Thieves.
I'm down.
Blackbeard.
Yep.
Sounds good to me. Oh, you play anything else this week, Luke?
Yeah, I picked up Divinity Original Sin 2 again.
Oh, snap.
I actually not completed that at all, so spent part of my morning getting back into it, getting the rust off, and really trying to pick back up where I left off and remembering the entire storyline. But great game. I forgot just how much the narrator adds to this game. And I think, Brian, you could probably back me up on that, is just the narrator that just kind of tells you a little bit about what's going on and the reactions. It reminds me a bit of Stanley Parable.
It's super well done. It's probably the best one of these they've ever made. And I remember just thinking, I don't know, like every class or every skill I didn't take, like I felt like I missed out. I'm just like, I really should have done, Thane. I really should have been a cleric and taken this other skill.
Yeah, what
really great.
What I forgot was how unique the storytelling was in this game. So some of the enemies that I was fighting earlier were actually calling out to Thane, who was just a member of my party, and saying, you should be fighting with us, join us in our cause, redeem yourself and join us. And in any other game, it would be you as the player who they would be talking to, because it's your story. So the NPCs are going to interact with you. But in this game, each member of your party has their own story that they're progressing through as you are.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing this whole little glimpse into Thane's storyline that I don't really have much more than a basic understanding of. So there's so much more going on behind the scenes, and I love catching little glimpses like that.
Right. I remember there was that one incident where it was just something that happened in your game that you saw, but in my game it's something that I did, something that I controlled. It was like, this
I
old
think it was
bow
at the
that I
very
found.
beginning to where you killed an NPC, and I witnessed it while in your game you did it.
That's
real
real cool.
Stuff's really neat.
So it's a very unique storytelling mechanic that they have in this game, and it's so well done. So I definitely want to finish it. I'm on the last chapter right now, and I'm in this big, massive city.
Finally.
Tons of storylines, quests. So it's probably not something I'm going to be able to rush through to the end, but I just want to take it all in.
Good stuff, man.
Combat is very challenging. I think I said before, it's like a game of chess.
Yeah.
You have to react to any other ability that the enemies use, because it will affect your terrain around you and what abilities you use. So like someone had like fire. It was just covering all my people, just burning them every round. I had one character who blessed the fire, which turned it into like holy fire, which ended up healing everybody instead.
That's pretty cool.
That's how fire works.
Yeah.
Sure.
Get cleansed by the
There's
silver
just
flame.
So many mechanics that all interact dynamically with each other.
Yeah, it always feels like it's very close to breaking, but I have never seen it break.
Yeah, it's well done. It's polished. Everything is well thought out. It makes, when you think about it in an abstract way, it makes sense to the rules of the game.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Krang, is it just been the Sea of Thieves for you this week? He's muted himself and he's trying to talk right now, everyone.
Actually, it hasn't.
Yeah, what do you got?
I got my second platinum trophy on PlayStation this week.
Yeah?
Lego Harry Potter again.
Oh,
The other one now. So there's that. I have now 2 platinum trophies on my PlayStation, and both of them are Lego Harry Potter.
dozens of people will know that now, so now that is justified.
Yep.
Good job.
There you go. Thank you.
Is that like all the achievements for the game or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you get the platinum trophy when you basically do. Yeah, you just get all the other trophies.
I don't have any gameplay of Lego Harry Potter, but I can imagine what it looks like with my brain.
Looks like Legos.
Looks like
that are Harry
Legos
Potter
that are Harry Potter themed, yeah, and a big
Yep.
platinum one. It's
Nailed
pretty
it.
good. Pretty good.
Had you played those before? Or was this your first time?
I actually had played them on PC, but ended up like in both games getting like super glitched and couldn't 100% each of the games for some reason. They were like, they're real broken.
PC gaming,
games.
am I right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Master Race.
Real shit show.
Those games are real glitchy, and sometimes you end up with like glitches that you can't. It tells you you're supposed to be able to get a thing here, but you can't get that thing, and then you can't 100% it if you don't get the thing.
That's true. So yeah. Well, there you go. I played Sea of Thieves. I did get a chance to play a game that I've been trying to check off my list for a long time, and I finally caved and downloaded an emulator so that I can do it, because I'm not about to go buy a 3DS. It's called Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds.
Tyler,
Yes, that's
before
my
we
name.
get started on this, how much have you played?
Through the first dungeon.
Okay.
I have the ability to move, but I can become flat like a painting and move around that way.
Can you give me the elevator pitch for Link Between Worlds? Like, is
Yes.
it a whole new Zelda? Or
It's a whole new Zelda, but it takes place in the exact world that A Link to the Past took place in.
okay.
So you literally start in
No,
the
I'm sold.
same house. Yeah, it's like it's brilliant. Like they start you off in the same house that you wake up in A Link to the Past. A lot of the same music and sound effects are there. The layout of the world is the same. Like I knew how to get to Kakariko Village like that because I've played A Link to the Past dozens of times. Everything's there and it looks great. Like it's this, it's 3D, but it's still top down. So they've kind of blended a lot of the stuff from the 3D Zelda games with this, 2D gameplay, and it works out really well. And up until kind of the end of the first dungeon, it feels like you're just playing another 2D Zelda game. But the gimmick in this one is that Link has a little bracelet that allows him to merge with a wall. So he can walk up to a wall and kind of become flat like a
I
painting.
did not expect that string of words to come out of your mouth.
Yeah, that's
Basically turned into a painting.
I mean, it's no talking hat with a beak on it, but it's a kind of neat mechanic. But yeah, you turn into a painting and you can move left and right in a 3D plane, and it kind of opens up some neat puzzles. Like you go back through this dungeon that you just cleared, and you're like, oh, I can I can jump into the wall here and then end up on the other side to get to that chest that I didn't know how to get to earlier. It makes like exploring this whole world a lot more interesting. It does have a timer on it, so you can only do it for so long, and then you run out of magic and have to wait for it to regenerate. But yeah, it's a neat little game so far.
Tyler,
Yes, that's me.
It is. Have you met the dude yet? What sells you all the items.
Raviolio, yeah.
Yeah, Raviolio.
Ravio, whatever his name is. Yeah. Yeah.
Raviolio,
Yeah,
you
Chef
had it.
Chef Boyardee.
Yeah, he's a weird little guy with a purple bunny hat, and I like him. He's pretty cool.
So that was kind of my favorite part about this game is that, like, you know how in Zelda games of past, Brian, you would unlock, like, you would do a dungeon and then, oh, I've unlocked a hook shot, or oh,
Yeah.
I've unlocked the
Do a
cape, and
dungeon
now I
and get a new thing.
yeah, do a dungeon, get a thing. That's not how this game works. It's go to Raviolio
Yeah.
and pay him money, and he loans you the thing that you want.
This sounds shady.
Yeah, he's got a fucking hustle going on. He's
Black
like
market thing?
Raviolio went through all the dungeons and snatched up all the loot, and now he's like, "Hey, really is a bummer about those switches you need to shoot with a bow and arrow, isn't it? I got this bow and arrow right here."
Does he start charging you interest if you don't bring it back? Like,
No. You pay,
Like a
you pay a
practice center
one-time
thing?
fee. You pay a one-time fee to rent it, and as long as you don't die, you don't lose it. So you get to continue to use it indefinitely. But
But
if
only
you
one at a
die-
time.
If you die, you lose all the things that
What?
you rented from him, and
is
you
this
have to go and
Raggedy
re-rent
Ann
them.
looking motherfucker?
That is okay. So this
Tyler,
came
Tyler.
out. Yeah,
Zelda is anime. Carry on.
yeah. No, I know that. The more anime it gets, the harder time
This-
I have with it.
This came
Mhm.
slightly
Mhm.
after. What was it? Only like a year or two after. A couple.
Skyward
years after,
Sword.
Skyward Sword, which is straight up anime.
Yeah, and this person is apparently a dude, walking around in that getup with makeup and stuff on.
Floppy red
The
curls?
floppy red curls and the makeup and it's. At some point, they decided that
Oh.
all Zelda villains needed to be like these David Bowie like
Mhm.
crazy nonsense wizards.
You know what? At
Dance,
least this
magic,
one.
dance,
At least
yeah.
this one doesn't like get. At least this one doesn't get behind you and then whisper to you and then end up licking your ear.
David Bowie femme nonsense wizard is gonna be the show title. Anyway,
This
there's
is
Ravi.
so happy.
There's Raviolio there hanging out in your house. He's got some kind of weird skeleton bird
Yeah,
egg.
He's got a he's a purple bunny dude.
Yup.
He wears that bunny hat like the daughter on Bob's Burgers.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes.
Louise. Yeah.
Yeah, Louise.
he's rad. Yeah.
Yeah.
So one thing I'm kind of disappointed for you with this, Tyler, is this game, like the 3D effect of the 3DS was real good in this game.
I bet it seems like it because it's playing with the perspective a lot, and
Yep.
like you're getting to see like there's a mini game that I encountered where you have to dodge chickens, cuckoos, whatever they call them in this game, and they come at you from like all these different angles, and you're just trying to run around and not get hit by them. But some of them are above you, some of them are really giant fat
Cuckoos
ones.
everywhere.
Just
Yeah.
cuckoos all over the place. Yeah. And it seems like it would be really cool to see that effect of like them looking like they're actually going over top of you and stuff.
And earlier in the video, you were in a dungeon, and it was you're on a level, but that you could see because there were holes in the ground and stuff. You could see like the levels below,
Mm-hmm.
and when you have the 3D turned on, like, that looks really good.
Yeah,
They did a really good job with the 3D effect in this game.
seems like a perfect sell for it. But
Yeah, it's really if you're ever thinking about getting a 3DS, like this
I'd
is the
never
game
think
to
about
play on
that.
it.
Yeah.
I know, but if you were to ever get a 3DS, like this is the game that you have to get and play it on it. Like
I'm
this
using
is the reason to get a 3DS.
I'm using an emulator called Citra, and it works really well. There are some weird graphical glitches and audio glitches, especially like when you're moving between cells, when it's like loading the next thing. Sometimes the music will speed up or slow down to try to catch up with it. It's kind of like the sync gets off. But yeah, it's funny because as I was playing this, I was like, man, if only I had like a nice, powerful handheld system that could run this game, I'd buy a copy of it just to do that. If only I had a Nintendo console, that could run, an emulated version of this and had a touch screen, like virtually. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's too bad,
It's too bad that console doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's too bad. But
so, Tyler, question.
Yes.
How does this compare to Breath of the Wild?
That is an unfair comparison.
This is more like Breath of the Wild feels like a whole separate thing. Like it's one going back to the roots, but also taking Zelda, like making it current, bringing it in line with other open world 3D games. Where this is kind of like blending what I liked about the 3D Zeldas with what I really love about A Link to the Past, and like just kind of a continuation of that.
So this or Link to the Past, which one's better?
I don't know. I haven't finished it yet. But I like it a lot.
One, Luke.
Shut up, Kring. You've never finished A Link to the Past, so you can't answer that question either.
We're gonna have that argument this week, don't you?
I'll say it's in the running for one of my favorite handheld Zeldas, though I can tell you that.
Does it
Over
have
Oracle of
competition?
Ages and Seasons?
Yeah. Link's Awakening is one of my favorite games of all time. Oracle of Ages is up there too, and Seasons. Those were great handheld Zeldas.
Which do you prefer, Ages or Seasons?
I liked Ages better, I think.
Oh, well, you're wrong.
Okay. There's your bloodbath. Yeah, I like it a lot. And then also, I tried to play Dauntless for the past 2 or 3 days. And apparently, yeah, everyone else. Dauntless, from what I can tell, is mostly a queue simulator where you just click the play button and then wait for 5 hours as 138,000 people try to get in ahead of you.
It's going to be real huge.
Yeah.
It's going to be huge in the UK.
Yeah, just queue up simulator.
Yeah. I got to play more than you did. I played for a couple of hours today.
Okay.
Finally. I got in probably 3 separate times over the last few days, and it was unplayable for me every time. It would be like, wait 2 hours, and then the game's a slideshow, and I can't play it.
Yikes.
They fixed some things. I got in and played a couple of hours. So far, my predictions are spot on. For my end, it really feels kind of like a dumbed down Monster Hunter. Like it definitely borrows very liberally from that series, but it doesn't have the look or the personality of it at all so far. I mean,
or the ability to run properly.
Yeah, it's a beta, and apparently everything's on fire, so I'm not going to hold the technical stuff against them too much. But
the problem with that, though, Brian, is that they've been in closed beta for the last 7 months or something like that.
I know.
There's a little game called Sea of Thieves that was on fire the first day it launched too.
Yeah,
it's a free game. I'm not gonna shit my pants over some technical issues. I'm not.
Right. I'm just saying that the fact that they've had servers up and running for over 7 months, and then they go through and release another beta, and
it sucks.
Just shit the bed on it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be upset about the connection issues, like the not being able to get in issue. It's the Brian gets in and it's literally unplayable. The whole game is a slideshow portion.
Right. That's a coding problem. They had to release a patch for it, right, Brian?
Yeah.
That wasn't a server-side issue. That was a patch that they had to do. So how do you have a game up and running for 7 months and then release with that, where they have to release an emergency patch?
Well, because their computers are all probably like $5,000, and they're the beastly monstrosities that.
Right, but you're missing the part where they've been in open or closed beta.
That's true.
For streamers, I've watched this game 7 months ago on Twitch.
Yeah, I don't know the inner workings of it, but
now from what I heard, the queue issues were server related. So where they probably, I'm guessing, probably using some sort of cloud service to where it wasn't expanding their servers properly.
Or they underestimated the number of people that they were going to need.
Yeah, but not by that much.
Well,
That seems ludicrous.
yeah. So far, I think Brian's probably right about what the game is. I did actually get in and played it for about 20 minutes. All the technical issues aside, like, it's very, very clearly trying to be the poor man's Monster Hunter.
Yeah, you take a mission, you queue up and get into like an instanced, like little mission where you go and find a single big monster and kill it. Take its shit back to town and craft it into things. It's pretty much note for note Monster Hunter. It's not as nice looking, and like the monsters that I fought did not have the detail or the personality at all. It's pretty lacking so far, at least in comparison.
Yeah, I wasn't blown away by what I played. I only got to fight one monster and then go to town. But so I'm not going to hold that totally against it. I'll play it again once it goes full release and just, try to check it out, but I don't love the style of it. Like
No, it's not a good looking game for me so far at all.
Yeah, it's yeah, I don't know, just kind of disappointing all around. Like not being able to get in was annoying, and then like I literally queued up this morning at 11 o'clock in the morning, and just got in tonight before the show started at 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So
I want to play Monster Hunter with you, Tyler. I want to show you how
it can be.
It can be, yes.
Yeah.
Because all those fights are like they're real nail biters. They're taxing, and these didn't feel like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure this game will have some of that stuff, but it seems like it's much more, the beginner's Monster Hunter kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not putting its best foot forward first.
I think this game would have real big appeal and probably be pretty successful in a world where Monster Hunter didn't exist.
Maybe. Mm-hmm.
So I don't think its free aspect is going to be enough.
It does have some stuff going for it. Like Monster Hunter usually doesn't get mentioned without also in that same sentence, something about the difficulty curve and the learning curve and that kind of stuff for that game. And I'm not always looking for a new thing to master. Like sometimes I want to just get in and, play a game with my friends or whatever and not have it be this thing that requires studying and lots of menus and preparation and all that kind of stuff. So
Tyler, we're going to have a safe word. I'm going to be real gentle. Don't you worry about a thing. I got this.
You're assuming I'm going to be buying a copy of Monster Hunter at some point.
I won't worry about a thing.
It's a maybe. It's a maybe for me.
I want to check it out. I'll probably buy it.
I want to know what their safe word's going to be.
Wombat.
That's secret.
Nope, it's Wombat.
It is known.
Yeah, that's yeah, we'll see. This has got some neat ideas. I initially like I like at least the setting more than I like the Monster Hunter one, just off the
the like generic city, generic forest.
Yeah, I like that better than goofy cat people and goofy dinosaur heads on people and butterfly wings and stuff. But and they've got some neat ideas about they're gonna give you a transmog system so you can decide what your gear looks like. I love those.
That part's good. So that's the big thing about Monster Hunter is you're changing your gear pretty much literally every time you go on a mission. You've got to change your gear.
Right. And that would be cool if you could just have that be separate from the way you look. Okay, well, I equipped all the gear and I did earn all this stuff, so I can look like this. So blam, lock that look in. Yeah. Every game that's like a gear-driven thing where you're constantly switching that stuff out, I appreciate a transmog system because I'm that guy who will wear the wrong helm because it doesn't fucking match. and and go into a fight without the fire resist that I need, because I'm sorry, I'm not gonna wear the stupid looking goofy hat that doesn't match.
I'm not leaving the house looking like that.
Yeah, someone might see me. So that'll be a hard thing to break myself of in Monster Hunter, but we'll see. We
Well,
shall
that
see.
Game Gear's real good looking. You just gotta finish the sets.
There you go. Just gotta grind
Tyler's
out.
gonna end up with like butterfly wings and a dinosaur head.
Be immaculate. Yeah,
Yeah.
the people look real stupid in this though too. So it's like, oh, I don't know. I don't know what's better. We'll see.
I just think you hate that style.
I hate the style. I hate that like every person has like trendy haircut number 4, and then like, but like, look at these people. They look ridiculous. This guy's got this full crazy beard, and then like this spiky.
You mean the Viking guy?
No, that's my guy.
You hating on the Viking guy?
No, the Viking guy's me.
Oh, the other guy. There's a delay in the stream.
Yeah, the other
Yeah.
guy. He looks ridiculous.
Tyler with hipster beard number 12 with the
It's-
braid in it.
Okay, yeah. How many hipsters do you see with actual braids and face paint on? None. Anyway,
Well, that's because I don't live in Portland.
I did the best I could with what was given to me. I'm pretty happy with the result. Anyway, that's Dauntless. It's
That's
a game. It's fine.
Is it a game?
Queue up.
Queue up, watch the numbers tick slowly by, and then come back hours later and go, oh, I guess I get to do this now. It's a blast. Hey, let's get into the news. Oh, there goes my desktop thing. It's fine, I'll fix it. Hey, it's the news, and it's we got some stories. Best Buy done canceled their Gamers Club Unlocked program, and many people weeped.
Gasp.
It seems like a bummer.
It is a bummer.
I didn't join it, but it always seemed like a good value if you're gonna be buying some video games.
Yeah, if you buy
So what's the Gamers Clubs for those who don't know?
biggest part of it was you signed up for it. I think it was like $30 a year, and you got 20% off on all new game purchases. It also got you more trade-in value when you traded in your games. And I think there was some other. It used to come with like a magazine subscription, but I think they killed that a while ago. Yeah, the biggest thing was the 20% off discount. I think you got a better deal on purchasing used games too. I think was the other part of it. Yeah, it's weird. They kind of quietly snuffed it out. Like they didn't come out and announce like, "Hey, we're getting rid of this." But I guess some people did some digging around and called around to some stores, and they were like, "Yeah, an internal thing went out, and you can't sign up for it anymore." And so yeah, I think if you already had a subscription, it'll carry out until the end of it, but you can't sign up for any new ones.
See, I always thought this was weird that they just like Best Buy got into gaming and just sort of did it like lackadaisical and didn't really.
That's not a good word.
Didn't really
Take two.
care. Didn't really care. And they could have if they wanted to, they could have like put the full force of what they have behind this and probably killed GameStop by undercutting them and making for a better experience. Like they didn't need to get into gaming to make money, but gaming can be profitable because GameStop still exists. So I always thought it was weird they just sort of half-assed it
Yeah,
the
they're
entire
not in
time.
great shape either.
Yeah, they're not now.
Yeah,
I find it funny that they call it Gamers Club Unlocked. It's like that would have been cool and relevant maybe 10 years ago, but hey, achievement unlocked, guys.
yeah,
Ding,
you
right?
did
Get your gamer score.
it. Yep, it's the unlocked version. Yeah, I don't know. They could have done a lot of neat things. Maybe this is all in preparation for something better. I think that these retailers are going to have to reckon with digital game sales being a more prevalent thing, and getting around that somehow, or trying to get people in to purchased through them, I think is something that they're going to have to do to stay relevant, because
This seems like that was a good value though. Like if I can save $12 on a $60 game,
yeah, for sure.
I'll drive to Best Buy to do that. Sure.
Yeah, and I'd pre-ordered a few things from them and considered signing up for this just because I was like, well, I might be buying physical versions of Switch games. Like, I don't really want to be, but if I could save some money on them, it might be worth it. But I think there's enough people like us that were like, yeah, it does seem like a good value, but never signed up. So,
I signed up for the GameStop one instead, and it didn't make sense for me to have two.
right, yeah.
Otherwise, I
and
probably
I'm
would
kind
have.
of in the same boat as you, Brian, to where I already have Amazon Prime, which does something very, very similar. It's 20% off any pre-order or 2-week-old game. So why would I sign up for this?
See, that's kind of the point of it too, is that this is the Gamers Club Unlocked is quite literally just discounts on games, whereas at least with GameStop, you get a magazine with it still, and the magazine's actually really well done. With Amazon Prime, you get all of the benefits that go along with that: the music, the movies, the TV shows, the free shipping. Like, you get all that stuff. But with Best Buy, it was like, here's this thing, you get a discount on games, and that's it.
Well, sad to see it go, but also not really that surprised. So there you go.
Knowing the way Best Buy works too, they'll bring it back in some sort of form in like
Gamers,
6 months, and then
Gamers
kill it
Club
again a year later.
Relocked.
Yeah.
Gamers Club locked again. The Lockening 2. Hey, Resident Evil 7 is coming into Switch in Japan, but in a real goofy way, because Japan. So it's coming out in Japan, but only available as a streamed cloud services game. I didn't even know that this was a thing that Nintendo could do with the Switch, but apparently it is.
Yeah, it works like the PlayStation Now service, where you've got access to games, but you're streaming them. Like, you're not downloading them and running them.
So you have to, I think it requires like a 45 meg download, and then the rest of it is all just being streamed to your device over the internet. Yeah, no confirmation that this is going to be available anywhere else. And this is the first game to do this, but yeah, apparently this is a thing Nintendo can roll out. I don't know if this is because the game's just too big to offer on on one of the carts.
I hadn't thought of that. Yeah, the Switch doesn't have a whole lot of memory.
Doesn't have a lot of memory, and they might not be able to do a physical version of this thing. Like,
yeah, I know those carts get expensive the more you want to put on them. So
that'd be a real bummer if they're hitting a limitation with the cartridges already.
See, I thought those cartridges were like a 32 gig though. I thought they were like a standard.
Yeah.
Like I thought they had like a hefty size to them.
It might, but I mean, I have games.
Some games are 60 gigs plus.
Yeah, I've got several 50 gig games on my computer.
Yeah, but none of those will run on a Switch.
Skyrim.
It's always Skyrim. Always Skyrim.
I know what they do right now is they just have most of the game on there, and then you download the rest of it or whatever. I guess is how that works, but. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, Resident Evil 7's a current game on current gen hardware, so it coming to the Switch is kind of an interesting proposition. Guess we'll have to keep an ear out and see what happens with that. Any of you guys big Resident Evil fans?
Nope.
I saw the first movie.
Next. All right.
Nope.
I played 5 for it came out on Xbox. Realized I didn't like it.
Yeah, my wife tried 7 in VR briefly. She was like, "Am I a coward for being afraid to go in that house?" And I'm just like, "I'm not even putting the fucking headset on. I'm booting the game up. So you're braver than me. I want no part of that."
Yeah, I don't blame you. Not something I'm into either. I played a bit of 4, and I played a little bit of the original, but never really my thing. Well, here's some interesting stuff. Valve is rolling back their recent crackdown on sexual content in Steam games.
Yeah, it sounds like it was kind of a whoops. That was
A
our
l-
bad.
A little whoopsie. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing.
Kind of like we didn't realize you guys were gonna get pissed about this. Sorry.
Or maybe they took a pass at it a little bit too and banned a lot of stuff that shouldn't have been banned. I don't know.
It's kind of what it sounded like.
It seemed like they were really trying to weed out a lot of the adult visual novel stuff that is cropping up quite a bit in Steam. I think maybe I don't know. I'm of two minds of this. One is I don't care. Like whatever people want to play on Steam, cool. Like I don't think Valve should really be censoring much. Two, I get the idea that you also kind of need to prune some stuff and decide, Valve gets to decide what they're curating and what they want available, and
Right.
who's
Steam's
to
pretty
tell them.
wide open right now, so
Right.
unless you want to have like an adults only section, that you have to somehow gate people.
Right. And the best argument around all of this was like, hey, you can play The Witcher 2 where you literally go around banging people and it shows like everything, and that's fine, but some of these little cartoon games where you simulate getting to have a conversation with a girl and then maybe see boobies, like that's not okay. Like, okay, that doesn't make much sense. Then this thing kind of took a wild turn when I started seeing the hashtag waifu holocaust show up. And I was like, okay, actually, fuck these people. I don't care if their games are on Steam at all. Like, this is not, crusade worthy here. Like, we're not
Right.
defending some great honorable
just
thing.
You don't just get to throw out the word Holocaust unironically, like for any reason that makes you feel sad.
Yeah.
That's not how that word works.
Yeah, so I don't know. Send your hate mail, I guess, because
Steam's kind of the Wild West.
yeah. Yep. So hey, if you were really into the game Honey, then good news, it's probably coming back to Steam. There you go.
Yeah, there's a lot of that stuff on there. Every now and again, I'll see something on the front page. I'm just like, oh, what's that? And I look at the tags, and the first one's nudity. I'm just like, oh, nah, never mind.
There's a lot of things I like to mix, but
No,
that ain't one of them.
Nudity in video games just sort of kind of feels
I'm good.
Every time that I had to roll on by the strip club in GTA 5, I was just like, I hope I don't have to go in there. It's gonna be so awkward. But yeah. So that's that. Hey, what you really came here for was that hot Smash Brothers roster news. And rumor is gonna have Simon Belmont and Ridley join in the Smash Bros roster.
Woo!
Oh,
Ridley's weird.
Ridley is weird.
Metroid beings other than Samus. There's
Mother Brain, dog. Get that Mother Brain in there. She's just a big old brain in a vat. You could be comboing on her all day long, I guess.
That's awkward.
Is that a no? I've never played Smash Brothers.
At least Smash Brothers only had Samus in there.
Oh, you're talking about
Simon Belmont.
in Smash Bros.
Tyler,
already.
yeah.
I was just trying to come up with other Metroid bosses that could come in there, and
Brian,
Mm-hmm.
do you have a GameCube?
I do not any longer.
Just get a GameCube and then play the good Smash Brothers game
No,
that was on GameCube because it's the only
No.
one worth playing.
no.
there can only be one good thing.
And now it's not that there can only be one good thing; it's just none of the other ones were any good.
Did you play them all? Did you play the ones for the Wii U?
Well, no.
You're-
I'm sure it'll be re-released on
Did
Switch.
anybody play the one for the Wii U?
No, that's why this is going to be
wait,
a
no,
Wii U
actually-
release.
Actually,
the Switch.
technically, I did because the one for the Wii U was very similar to the one for the 3DS, and I played it on the 3DS, and I hated it.
Hated it with a
I
passion.
hated it, just like I hated Brawl on the Wii.
Yeah.
I like the Wii
Yep.
one. That one was okay.
Did it have the Super
Hashtag
Smashes?
balance.
How much have they changed it up from game to game? Seems like a bunch of
Enough
Nintendo
to hate
people
it.
beating the shit out of each other and bouncing each other up in the air.
Mm-hmm. They added a thing called Super Smash, I think, or Star Smash. What's it called? What's it called?
Super
Yeah.
Smash
Star.
Smash
Yeah, like a
Meteor
super thingy.
Meteor Smash. Smash Move. Smash Mouth.
Upset the balance.
I think it was Final Smash, maybe.
Final
Yeah.
Smash. Thank you. Yes. It was either that or Smash Mouth. I knew it.
You're a rock star. Get your game.
Yeah, Final Smash. Yeah, it's like a super move. It's like a finisher, right? It's like a
Where you rip their spine out.
yeah, hold it up all bloody.
It's
Kano reach into Bowser's chest and pull out his weird lizard heart. Just boom, 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 boom. Nothing, Kring? Okay.
I
Hated-
understand.
hated
those
it.
references.
We-
I didn't like the finals. I didn't like the addition of the Final Smash. That's why I felt like
Can-
it was
can-
felt
Can
icky.
you tell me why?
It felt like they took a really good skill-based game and turned it into something where there was some like the Final Smashes felt like a bit of rubber banding. Like if you could pull off the Final Smash, then it was like an equalizer almost.
It's a
Was
blue
it-
shell.
Yeah, it
the
felt
more
like
hurt you are,
that.
the stronger it is, kind of thing. Or
Yeah. Whereas Melee felt more like a game of pure skill.
I think
We
there's
had-
there's something to that because there's a reason that people still play Melee at
Right.
the big fighting game conventions and stuff. Like that seems to be one of the staples. So that makes
There's a
sense.
reason that like I think a copy of Melee still sells for like $50 or something like that. It's
Hmm.
never gotten any cheaper.
Got $50 sitting in a little CD sleeve right over there. If I ever need it, it's good to know. Well, our last news article is that Apple done killed the Steam Link iOS app before it was even able to be birthed into the world.
Apple, please.
Yeah, that sucks. The Steam Link app seemed like it was going to be awesome and allow you to stream games from your PC to your phone with just an application, which sounds really great since I never pulled the trigger on the Steam Link box. But yeah, for some reason Apple rejected the submission, so
Yeah,
Valve
it says
appealed it, and
The original review team fucked up.
who
That's
said
our
that?
bad.
Who
That's,
said-
that's pretty much all that Apple said was, the team that reviewed it initially made an oops.
Oh, okay. Well, so maybe they'll come back.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Well,
eh?
the original team that approved it fucked up, it says.
Oh, the original team that
There were
approved it.
conflicts with app guidelines that had allegedly not been realized by the original review team.
Interesting. So it originally got approved and then got blocked.
That's what it sounds like.
Well, hopefully that gets changed because that seemed really cool and it's available on Android. So just give me one more reason to throw my iPhone in the fucking river.
Tyler, I'll give you one reason why not your iPhone.
Can you give me one reason to make your microphone stop cutting you out?
No, because you have AT&T, and if you switch to Android, your phone will just be loaded with bloatware.
Yeah, is that true?
Will it though?
When you buy through your carrier, yes.
So if I don't buy through the carrier and just
Correct.
Tell
If
them
you were
all
to
to
buy- if you
eat
were to
my
just-
butt.
If you just, shell out $1,000 for your new phone out of pocket and just buy it that way, then yeah, it'd be great. But if you bought it through AT&T, they would just load a whole bunch of garbage on it.
okay, well, I don't know. Steam Link app sounds
do
like
that.
a pretty good reason to do that. So there you go. There you go. Throw your iPhones in the river, everyone. Hey, that's the end of the news. So you know what that means? It means it's time for this. It's a topic. It is a topic, and the topic this week is: what is the first game you ever played, and where and how? Who wants to start?
Oh, man.
I
Tyler,
can.
why don't you start?
I can
Why don't you
start.
us
Yeah,
I
off?
can tell a
Tyler.
story. I was a young lad. I was only 2.5, maybe almost. Yeah, I was almost 3. And it was Christmas time. Went over to grandparents' house, and they were playing Tetris on the big TV. It was like a big. They had like a big like projection style TV, if I remember, and Tetris was
One
on
of those
it.
big fucking
Yeah,
massive.
this was like so this would have been like 1989. Yeah, it would have been almost 1990, and it was just this massive thing. And they were playing Tetris super loud on this thing, and I remember just being kind of like in awe of it, like, whoa, what is going on here? And that Christmas I got an NES for Christmas with Mario and Duck Hunt and the Zelda games and all that stuff. But yeah, the very first game I ever played was Tetris on the NES, and it's awesome. What
It's
about
a real
you?
good one.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. And yeah, and all the other great NES games followed not long after. So it was like just years of, Duck Hunt and Mario and Zelda and Mega Man and all those games.
How big of a deal was old, like Gold Cart Zelda for you, Tyler?
The biggest of deals.
Mhm.
It formed my whole love of all of this nerdy shit. Between that and Mega Man, it was like those were my go-tos. Like I loved the Mario games too, but
Not in the same way.
not in the same way. And that first Zelda game, like you can just go anywhere and
Yep.
just explore and find these weird secrets and slay monsters
Didn't
with
that
your
world feel
sword.
just endless back then.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and like I was trying to tell Kring or somebody earlier this week, like I don't have any real way to tell how much time I put into those games. Like
Yeah.
it's all so blurry, and I owned those consoles for so long, even after they were relevant. Like I remember I got a Super Nintendo, and I still had my original Nintendo, and I would play them both. Like I had like a little adapter that I could switch between the inputs, like an input switcher or whatever. And yeah, like it all kind of blended together for me. It didn't feel like, this generation had a hard stop and I switched over to the new one. Like I played those games throughout my
Right.
entire childhood.
Oh,
So
time worked differently back then.
yeah, it's all timey-wimey.
Zelda's the first game that made me lose track of time. I remember being like, "Oh God, I'm hungry. Oh shit, it's 6 o'clock now. Like, what happened to Saturday? It's gone."
Yeah. Yup. A lot of really good times. Yeah, what about you, Brian? What was the first game you ever played?
God, the first game I remember playing was
Pong? Was it Pong?
You're not far off. It was a game called Freeway on the Atari 2600
Okay.
Ooh.
at the neighbor's house. That they had Freeway and they had Kaboom. I remember Freeway being like a chicken running across the road trying to dodge cars.
Basically Frogger?
I think it was probably inspired. I have not. I'm looking up images right now. I have not seen or thought about this game, and holy shit! And
Yep, it's basically Frogger. Yep.
yeah,
Wow.
So Brian, I just looked
Mhm.
something up on this game, and
It's Crossy Road.
I've learned something. The original prototype of this game was titled Bloody Human Freeway.
nice.
And instead of being a chicken, you played as a man. And if you got hit by a car, you turned into a streak of blood
Okay.
right there on the highway.
Yeah, I remember this. Yeah, this was like arcades were still a big deal because the home games looked a lot worse than the arcades. Like I
Yeah.
remember playing Pac-Man on a home console and it was just like, this is okay, but
These
it ain't nowhere near.
$60 for these graphics.
Exactly.
It's like seeing a game on Xbox 360, but then all you've got is a Wii.
Yep,
Yes.
it's just like that. Yeah, Freeway, get it now. It was an Activision joint, apparently.
Yeah.
There's a
Remember
logo.
old like Pitfall and all that old shit. We never had a 2600. We had an Atari 5200.
Hmm.
Those controllers were garbage.
Yeah. My aunt had an Atari, and I remember playing Frogger on it. But
It was even at the time it was rough looking.
yeah, I remember this was like I had an NES already, so I remember going over to the aunt's house,
What the
being like
fuck is
5 and being
this?
like, what were people doing? Like, times were tough, I guess, huh?
Yeah, when you talk about Zelda, that's the other thing. Like that was the first kind of game that I couldn't play at the arcade.
Right.
There was an ongoing story where I would save and come back to it and explore.
Yep.
And that was something I couldn't do at the arcades at all.
That's one of the first games that allowed anyone to do that. Like that
Yep.
save feature was revolutionary at the
I
time.
think they might have been the first game to have a battery backup for a save.
Yeah.
Might have been
Pretty cool.
Yeah. I had NES Zelda and then Dragon Warrior. Here I
Very
am.
cool. And here we all are. Yep.
So,
What about you?
so,
Go ahead, Crane.
so I was gonna say, since Brian was talking about Atari, I also first got my games in on Atari. We had an Atari 7800 when I was a kid.
Fancy.
Yeah, Brian, that's 2600 or the 5200.
Damn.
Get wrecked.
Damn, 600 better.
Ballin'.
But that was the quality of the games though. By that point, they were starting to look like the arcade versions quite a bit. Like I played a lot of Miss Pac-Man and Centipede, Galaga,
Yes.
Mario Bros, Pitfall, Pole Position. Those were all the games that I played. I don't remember which one specifically was the first one that I played,
talking
but
my
I remember
language.
playing a lot of those games. And the Miss Pac-Man for the 7800 looked pretty close to the arcade version, at least to my 4-year-old self. I remember thinking, this is exactly the same. And it did look pretty close. But yeah, I think of
Did it run
those.
fast like the arcade versions, like some of the arcade versions?
Oh yeah, at some points they
They had that
They-
like speed chip in a lot of the Miss Pac-Mans, and that
yeah.
was the way to go.
But I think my favorite of the games was probably Centipede. I loved playing Centipede.
That fucking trackball. Get out of here with that shit.
Well, no. See, you were talking about the 5200 having garbage controllers. The 7800 also had garbage controllers, especially to a small child, because you had this stupid long controller with this big joystick on it, but then it had like 2 buttons up at the front, so you're like squeezing the buttons up here while trying to hold this joystick.
Lobster
You
claw.
can't, you can't do it when you're 4 years old and you have tiny hands. So like, but I loved playing Galaga. Or
Galaga's one of the
Centipede,
best.
excuse me.
No, you were right, Galaga.
Oh, yeah, Galaga too. My brother was actually the one who played Galaga the most. Yeah, that thing, Tyler. That thing was hot garbage to try to hold as a small child.
Yeah,
It looks like it.
that's a monstrosity.
Like, hey,
That's
what
one
if
thing I will say about the Nintendo. The NES really drove home what the controller is.
Yeah, that was such a weird thing to pick up for the first time. Like no joystick.
Yeah. Yeah. The D-pad and a couple of buttons.
Yeah.
That's all you need. That's all you need. Well, Luke,
Yeah.
first game you ever played, man.
I remember I was home from school. I had chickenpox.
Mm.
So friend of the family brought over their NES
Yeah.
and with Mario.
Yeah.
So that was my first
The original.
experience.
The original.
And I had no clue what this thing was at all. I think my mom was like, "Oh yeah, they're gonna bring over their Nintendo." I'm like, "Okay, I don't know what this is. I don't know what you're talking about." They brought it on over, and yep, they let me borrow it for a while, and that was in this probably early springtime, I would imagine. And then that winter, for Christmas, got Nintendo.
Yep. It's probably one of the most played NES games ever, because didn't it come with it?
Yeah, it
It
came
was,
with
it
it.
was bundled with
Yeah.
the system.
You
Yeah.
bundled with it, Duck Hunt, and then I got Zelda.
Those old NES game boxes were so good.
Yeah.
Did your NES also have that robot with it, Luke? Did you get that?
Roby?
No, did not.
Oh, that's a shame.
I never had an ROB.
it was totally
Me neither.
useless and like the game was terrible. I had one. I bought it as like I had a huge NES collection for a while, and I bought it off of somebody who was actually trying to trade it in at the GameStop I worked at, but we didn't take it. And
It's not
it
like
was
super collectible now.
it was pretty well useless for as a gaming thing. Like they included it in because hey, it's the 80s and robots are a thing.
It's something you'd put on a shelf now, I imagine.
Pretty much, yeah.
That first Super Mario Brothers game is still one of the greatest games of all time.
Yeah.
It holds up.
Giant Bomb did a thing where one of their guys who had never finished it, played through the whole thing from start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty entertaining. It's still challenging.
For sure.
Oh yeah, this game's real hard.
Yeah,
Mhm.
trying to beat it without using any of the warps.
Yep.
It's pretty tough. I don't know if I've ever done that, to be honest. It's so cool because like those things were not a thing you could go on the internet and just look up,
Right.
like because the internet didn't exist yet, kids.
There's a continue feature on it, which I didn't know.
Uh-huh.
Until I watched that video. Like if you hold down one of the buttons after
It's
you
like
die.
A and start or something like that. Yeah.
Yep, and it was
Ye-
fantastic because he forgot to hold it down one time, and he was like, "Oh shit!" And they're like, "Yeah, there's no save states, man." Sorry.
Yo, that was something that one of my most upvoted comments on Reddit ever is a response to that where I was just like, get the fuck out, because I didn't know that.
I
And-
believe it was actually shut the
Oh, maybe that was it.
up.
That was maybe it. Yeah. All caps. Yeah, because that was a PSA that I hadn't gotten as a kid, so I went
Yep.
my entire life not knowing that up until like last year or 2 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, I was good at a lot of video games, but that was not one of them.
Yeah, Mario was hard. Mario was very hard.
It was the water levels that always got me.
Oh yeah,
I don't know,
the
challenge now
music
is
though,
so-
God, the music is so good still.
The challenges are so different now. Like I used to be able to play Kid Icarus and beat it without dying, and I
Wow.
played it on an emulator a few years ago, and fucking nope, not at all.
Yeah.
No, I just had a thing like that too. I used to be able to play Sonic the Hedgehog 2 through in like a sitting, easy peasy. And I did just do that a little while ago. I played through with Knuckles, and I used to love playing Sonic 2 and Knuckles. And I got all the way through to the very end, and I had like 4 continues. I had 10 lives, and I'm like, all right, let's do this. Let's beat this boss and be done with this. And nope, I lost every single life and got a game over.
Dang. How broken is your controller?
It's not, although playing on an Xbox is hot garbage because the D-pad,
Yeah.
regardless of what they do, it still sucks.
It's never quite the same.
No, it's never quite as good.
Well, cool. Little blast from the past, little trip down memory lane.
Yeah, that was
Always
fun.
good. Yeah, it's a good topic. Well, we're going to be doing a lot more of that soon because we are going to go through and name the 100 best video games of all time definitively.
Yep.
Not
There's
a-
science behind it.
Yeah, there's science,
Like,
there's
don't question
lists. Yeah, don't look too far behind the curtains
It's
because
infallible.
yeah, it's definitely very scientific.
Yeah, we've just about got the list done. We have to order them, which that'll be fun.
We have our top men working on it.
Top men, yes.
Working around the clock.
Round the clock, get this resolved. Well, it's been a pleasure, gents. That's going to do it for the show. Episode 78 in the bag. Come back next week, won't you, dear listeners, dear viewers? Get our show right at questlogcast.com. Put that in your ear holes however you like. Or, maybe jump on the YouTube. Watch it on the YouTubes. If you like seeing our faces, don't know why you would, but some people do. Or watch it live. Jump right in here at twitch.tv/questlogcast. You can be part of the fun. Join the online conversation in our chat room. And tell us what your favorite video game was the first that you ever played. Hey, shout out to Visager for the music at all throughout the show. It's visager.bandcamp.com. And
Except for that topic one.
Yo, get at me, Visager, if you want to borrow that or use it, sample it. You know, we can collaborate.
A remix, yeah.
Yeah. We'll catch you guys next week. Have a great night. This is the remix edition of a topic about
Death
pissing.
metal version.
Yeah, now you're talking. Good night, everybody.
Take care.
Good night.
Good night.
This is a topic.